Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am so excited to be coming to you today for another new Friday show for you. I am really excited about this one. Don't really know exactly where we're going to go, but it's been a minute since we've done a solo show, a week or two, I think. We had some great guest interviews for our Marriage Mondays. Me and Savannah have done a Marriage Monday together. We've had some great guest interviews for just our Wednesday, Friday shows. It's been awesome. We had the pleasure of sitting down with the Young Hustle near me, Riley Rigg, on Wednesday's show. That was a fantastic show. He is 18. He's crushing it. 48 yards from door hangers and postcards. I think it was actually postcards is what he said he used, but it was really door knocking. And he went up, hand knocked on 300 and something doors, and 350, I think he said. Now, he didn't get to talk to all of those, but 350 doors, 350 postcards he passed out, or door hangers he hung, and he ended up landing 48 of those by talking to the customers and actually getting to get face-to-face and tell them about what he was trying to do. And so that is a fantastic return. That should inspire you. If you've been in a slump and you're like, man, I can't get new customers, well, then there's no excuse after listening to that episode. That just tells you everything that you need to know. And it just proves to you that anything is possible. It's you just have the company you deserve because you're going to have the company based off the amount of work that you put into it. But so, hope everybody's doing good. It's been a wild last couple weeks. We've been running like crazy, trying to knock jobs out, trying to keep jobs booked. We've had a job list over a month long for the past 2.5 months probably, and we're finally starting to get some of those knocked out and getting to see some progress on those. We had 2 trips earlier on in the summer that kind of delayed us. It just made me, I was trying to push jobs, work jobs around. I was only here half a week twice, and so that kind of threw off our job list, and we've had a lot of rain this summer, actually more than usual, and so I'm not complaining. The grass is beautiful and green and growing, so you won't hear any complaints from me. It is growing like crazy, though. I'm actually going to have to move some of our bi-weeklies to weekly to finish out the year just because it is so thick, and we just can't do it. We spent this is prime example. So you guys up north, you'll be saying, yeah, I told you so. We've gone over this a million times. If you've listened to the show before, you know this. If it's your first time, I'll give you a 30-second rundown. Our market does not allow all weekly cuts. It just doesn't. Our grass grows, theoretically, it grows too slow, usually. It doesn't grow too, it's not that it grows too slow, it's just that it grows too short. We don't cut our grass on 5 inches, 4 and 5 inches like you guys up north do. And 5 is high. I guess most of you are cutting on, 4 maybe, tall fescue and things. But we're cutting on 2.5 and 3. And so we're able to keep it lower, and it just grows a little slower. It doesn't grow as fast. And so we are able to do bi-weekly more, and that's just what our market allows. That's what pretty much the majority of people down here in the South do. Now, I know there are some guys like on the transition zone where they have fescue and Bermuda. They just push everybody weekly, and they don't give an option. And then you got people down in like Orlando where it's like hot year-round all the time, and that grass does grow fast. They got St. Augustine down there, and it grows like a weed. And so they do cut weekly all the time. So I don't know. I know that, I guess, maybe our, was it longitude or latitude that's like straight across? I don't remember. I wasn't the geography geek that I should have been. I think it's latitude, but no, it's longitude. Longitude's across, latitude's up and down. Whatever, the longitude, like that we're on, that Texas is on, Mississippi, like that line straight across. I know a lot of guys in Texas are in the same boat. They got Bermuda, they have warm season grasses, and they do a lot of bi-weekly cuts. And so that's just the way our market allows, and it's what it is. it is what it is. Can't change it. And so we just move on with life. Like, that's what our businesses are based on. It's not that big of a deal. But with that being said, we do have certain yards that we do go weekly on. My typical schedule runs from, it goes bi-weekly, March, April, May 1st, we go to weekly, May, June, July, August. September, we go back to bi-weekly, September, October, November, December, January, February. Really, we just go bi-weekly, September, October, November. And then December, January, February, kind of like hit or miss. Some, if we're cleaning up leaves, then we keep going. But that's not the case for everybody. So the schedule just changes. It goes back and forth. We just adapt with it and we move on. But anyway, long story short, long or short story long, we do have some customers that we do push weekly, and so we're actually going to have to move one of our bi-weeklies because we were there the other day, and I hadn't been mowing with the guys in probably like 3 weeks, and I was out there mowing the other day, and we had to do this yard, and I mowed it, and because I pulled up and I was like, this is so tall. I want to mow this. I want to see how long this actually takes because they had been complaining about it for a while, and I mowed it, and it took me a solid 40 to 45 minutes just to get the clippings dispersed enough to be able to call it good. We didn't even get all the clippings gone, but we got them dispersed enough to where it didn't leave the yard looking messy. It looked good when we left. But seriously, 45 minutes of like cutting, blowing, mulching all over these clippings. And so it may be like, we're not doing this again. This is a yard that I've got budgeted for 30 to 35 minutes. We were there for at least 50. Can't happen with 3 guys. It just can't happen. That you will end up losing money that way. And so they'll probably be getting moved to weekly this week, and we'll see how that goes when they get that message. But it just is what it is. I can't keep losing money that way doing it bi-weekly. So I think they'll actually be all right and make the transition. But don't be afraid to make that transition, guys. If you are running a bi-weekly mainly bi-weekly business, then if there's certain yards, like here, our dirt is so different down the street. Like we have clay. I live in literally Clay, Alabama. We have clay and chert everywhere. It's hard. It's rocky. It just is a mess. And so, but you can drive right in the road and you can be in great fertile topsoil. And so that's not very common here. It's pretty bad. The ground's just pretty bad all around, but that is the case in some places. So the grass grows different. Like in these new development neighborhoods, they're literally just throwing the sod down on chert and clay. That sod does not grow as fast. It grows slower. I actually had a guy tell me the other day, he was like, yeah, I hate going mowing in this neighborhood because we have to go like 3 weeks because the grass takes so long to grow, and that's just not good for business. But like we can't do anything about that. It's not my fault that they're putting it on chert and clay. So I hit it with some fertilizer, and people complain too. People complain that their grass isn't growing. It's not turning deep green. And I'm like, look, when your contractor puts it down on just concrete, essentially, it's not going to grow well. And so we just kind of do the best we can to make it look good and move on. But don't be afraid to make that transition to weekly if you have to, because you can't just continue to hemorrhage money and lose money on yards that you've got budgeted for, say, 30 minutes, but they're taking you 45 because it's growing so thick. That stuff just can't happen in the long run. So don't be afraid to make that switch. Let's talk about what we had happen today. Let's talk real life of what's going on in the business. So like I said, we have a job list. We've been trying to knock some of those out. And when I say job list, I mean of landscape jobs, side jobs. We've been trying to do 1 or 2 a week. That gives me enough time to knock them out. Our big job took us a week. We did 18 pallets of sod, and that took us in a bunch of different landscape. We planted, 25, 30 plants, a ton of pine straw. So that job as a whole was a bunch of grading work to do there, bringing in, I think we brought in 40 yards of topsoil. So that job took a week. That took up a chunk of when we could have gotten some of those other jobs done. But now we're doing 1 or 2 a week, and we had one on the books for today. And so we decided to knock that out, and I had some other stuff I had to do in the morning. We were going to go out there at lunchtime, get started, and it was about a half-a-day job. Turned out, half-a-day job. We did good. We were out of there by 5. We got there about 12:30. And so the job, honestly, everything with the job went pretty well. We got there and unloaded and got the machine off and started ripping shrubs out. If you saw my Instagram post yesterday, then you saw the little transformation. It was simple. It was like tear out 3 loropetalums, an azalea, what was that? I think it was a Cleara, maybe. I can't remember right off the top of my head. Maybe a teal. I don't remember what it was. On the corner. Just 4 or 5 not overgrown, but they're outdated bushes. They lived their lifespan. And so we tore those out. I pulled up, and I was debating on using the forks, and I didn't want to make a mess. The yard was in really good shape. Didn't feel like throwing stuff on the windows. There's windows up front, and if you use forks to pop stuff out, the first time you do it, you realize this makes a mess. And so luckily, we were able to just wrap a chain around the bucket, wrap a chain around the roots, literally lift the bucket, and they all came out. They didn't have super deep root balls. It was a very beautiful thing. I was kind of low key stressed about that because I didn't want to have to do too much yard repair. I didn't want the machine sinking and digging in, and so luckily didn't have to do much of that at all. And so that turned out great for us. But got those out in literally like 10 minutes maybe. Got all those out, and then we started raking some of the old mulch out. I'm not going to walk you through the whole job, but we got it all out, and everything went good. I over budgeted on sod, though. I will say that. And so let me tell you, let's talk this really fast before I get into the actual topic of where I was going with this. If you are starting to do landscape jobs, you have to realize you have to get your materials under control. Your cost of goods sold will kill you. You have to get your materials. If you are spending too much on material and you're having waste, that is money that you are not putting in your pocket. I'm preaching to the choir here because I forgot how much sod we were actually using here. I forgot we gave him an updated quote, and he declined it. And so this is just on me. It's like I said, these jobs have been on the book for over a month, and it had been a while since I looked at it. I looked at it before, but I was like, I think he did that. So we were at the nursery, and I think we ended up needing like 30 to 40 pieces of sod. If that, we probably maybe like 25 or 30. And I was in my head thinking like we need like 70 because there was a section that we quoted doing, and he ended up turning that down. We quoted that after he approved the original quote. It was like a change order. He declined that, and I forgot that he declined that. So in my head, we're doing this whole section. Well, I buy 90 pieces of sod. It's like they had a half a pallet sitting there, and a little under half. And I was like, just give me the pallet. It was easier to move. We didn't have to unload it or anything. Well, that pallet cost me $180-something, that half pallet. And it's $180. Yeah, I can resell it. Yeah, I can use it at my house. Yeah, like the sod will get used somewhere. I'll gift it to somebody. But it's like, that's $180 that I should not have spent. It's money that should have gone in my pocket. And that was just laziness on my part, not laziness, but just irresponsibility of not looking at the quote back in depth, not realizing, okay, he did decline this, I forgot. And so we need to get this amount of sod, not this amount, because it was just ridiculous. We just spent way too much money. I should have spent $100 maybe $100, probably more like 75 or 80, and I ended up spending 180 on a half a pallet that I didn't end up needing. And so the sod will get used, but I just didn't need it for that job, so that eats into my profits. Same thing with the mulch on this job. For some reason in my notes, had 2 yards. We needed half of a yard, maybe. And I think I overquoted because I quoted it with the bed, with like an empty bed, and I don't know why. This is just like it coming out on the air. I don't know why I didn't think about the shrubs that were going to be in there when I thought about the mulch quote. Like I don't know what was going through my head that night. Probably just trying to get it out because we were swamped. There was all these jobs that we're knocking out right now all came in like in a short amount of time. So it was like getting these quotes turned around was hard. I was remembering certain things from other quotes and trying to keep up. And anyway, I quoted 2 yards of mulch. I got 2 yards of the nursery this morning, and I got there and literally needed half of a yard, maybe. Like I think it was like 3 full buckets with the mini skid is how much mulch we ended up using. It was crazy. So mulch is mulch. I don't mind having too much mulch because we end up using it on another job, or I have a spot that I'm trying to create like a drive at my house. And so we have built that drive up over the past 3 years of extra stuff we dumped down, and it was a pretty steep slope, and now we're working up to like not almost level, but like it's much more drivable down the hill, and so this slope just goes down our back hill, down our property, and so we just dump all of our extra mulch and dirt and things there. So it's nice. It packs in well, and we're good to go. So I can get rid of the mulch, but it's just like that's wasteful. I spent $100 on mulch. It was $50 a yard, $45 a yard. I spent $50 a yard for 2 yards, $100, and I should have spent 30 for a half of a yard. It's just like, God, like that's $250 that should have been in my bank account. and now it's getting gifted to somebody in sod or trying to resell it on Marketplace, and mulch going into my drive to build it up. Like, it's just, that stuff will eat you up. And it's not the end of the world for me. Like, it's okay, life goes on. But you have to realize if you're doing this over and over and over again, you're going to start asking yourself, why am I not seeing profits? Why am I not seeing money in my bank account? Well, this is probably a huge reason why, if you're doing landscape jobs without some type of software, and even with the software, though, so you can say you're using a Synced Up or an Element or whatever, a budgeting and estimating software, you might be using that, but if you just get your estimates wrong, then that software doesn't do anything for you. That software prices it for you. It doesn't tell you how much you have to have for the job. So if you're overpricing or underpricing or underestimating how much you are going to need, well, your job could go badly really quickly because you could either have a lot of waste and that money not be in your bank account, or you can underbid and have to pay to go buy more materials. And I don't know which one is worse, but it's just like, it's just like, oh, we got to change that. We cannot continue moving on life like that, because if you keep doing that, your business will start to hemorrhage cash along the way. And you're going to be like, where's my profits? And then you're going to start asking the conversation, how long do we stay open? Do we transition route? Like, do we go a different route with the business? There's all these things come into your mind, and you have to just realize, like, it's the little things sometimes that keep your business from making money. It's the little inefficiencies. It's the route is too far. It's you have one outlier that you should not be doing. You're budgeting, and I think this is one of the things that I'm having to work on as well, and I know I will next year going into the spring when spring rush hits for mowing, is when you take on a new client, you have to know how long that yard is going to take you with however many guys you're going to have on it. And the problem with me is what I've done is I've quoted jobs where I think it'll take two people it'll take this amount of time for two people, but then we end up having a third person on the yard throughout the summer when we were on a 3-man route. But I'm only getting paid for what two people should be there for, but we got the third person there. So, like, I'm not seeing that money. And this is just me being real and open and honest. I know I'm not the only one who has this happen, so I'm not afraid to talk about it. And if you want to message me about it, shoot me a message. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you my struggles, how we're working through it. Like, I'm an open book. I'm trying to make you better. I'm trying to make the industry better. I'm trying to make my friends better. And that's what this podcast is like a great friendship. It's a community of friends that I love getting on here to talk to and hang out with and message back and forth with and talk through these things. Because if you think you're the only one going through this, then you're going to end up in a downhill spiral, like in your head of like, am I good enough? Am I bad at my business? Should I close? And why am I the only one that does this? Am I stupid? Like, you start asking yourself these questions, these self-doubt, and it's like, you're not the only one. Everyone goes through this. They're just too scared to talk about it. They don't want to put it on their highlight reel. So don't forget that when you're out there and you're struggling, you're not the only one. Someone else is out there going through the same thing. So all that aside, that is just my little 2 cents for the podcast. That was free. You don't have to pay for that. But we had this job, and this was the first time this has ever happened. This isn't anything crazy, just a funny story. We're out here, we pull up, the dude comes out, and so we're finishing eating lunch. And I'll preface this. This couple's great. They're nice. They're a sweet older couple. They just wanted their landscape redone, and we were going to help them with that. But he was very, wanted to know when we were going to be there. Hadn't heard from you. Blah, blah, blah. When you going to be here? So I gave him a time, gave him a date, all that. But he's just very particular about that. And that's fine. Like, they're paying a lot of money to get their landscape redone. I understand. We get there, tell them we'll get there 30 minutes. When we're 30 minutes out, we show up about that time. We were finishing lunch, and we ran to the drive-thru, got lunch in the truck. We were sitting there finishing our lunch, and I see him come out, and he just starts looking in the trailer. And I'm like, what is this dude doing? Like, he's looking, and I have other stuff from other jobs in here, so I don't want him looking in my trailer and be like, oh, this is for our job, or oh, why am I getting charged for this if it's extra? Like, I don't like that. Stay away from my trailer. I'll show you all your plants and stuff on your yard. Don't be over there looking at my trailer and my truck. Like, it just bugs me. I don't know why. It rubs me the wrong way. He comes out there and he's just like looking over, peeking in my trailer, doing all this and like moving stuff. I don't know that he touched anything, but he's just looking. And I was like, what is this dude doing? So I get out, walk back there, say hey, whatever, and walking around and comments on the amount of sod I have. I was like, yeah, I know. I got it I told him I had it for another job, and it will be for another job. That's not a lie for this time. A lot of times we have too much extra, and it's just we end up using it or selling it. But that's not the case for this job. We will actually probably use this sod on another job. So I was like, yeah, we got it for another job. It's not all for yours. We just I bought it all on one pallet. And so I know I just went through that whole thing of the whole like 90 pieces, whatever. I was just trying to prove my point. You got to know how much you need for that job. When I got there, I realized, yeah, we didn't need that much, but I knew in the back of my head when I bought the 90 pieces, I didn't need 90 pieces. I think we needed 65 to 70, but we have another job that's how it's going to go on. So anyway, we were planning to use that sod. So tell him that, and life goes on. We start unloading things, and he goes up and stands by the garage and go up to pull start pulling the bushes out, and I'm like, okay, but he's just like standing here watching. Cool. He just wants to see the bushes run. He wants to see the bushes torn out. Like, I love seeing big toys. He wants to see mini skid. Like, it's cool watching demo. Demo's awesome. Everybody likes watching demo. Cool. So we're gonna watch the demo, and he's gonna go inside, and they're gonna live inside. They're gonna stay inside the rest of the time. And if they want to watch, great. Watch through the window. I don't care if you sit there and watch through the window all the time. That's not the case. We pull the bushes out. He's there. His wife even comes out too at that point. Wife stays out there, watches the whole demo. They talk, we talk, and then they start telling me where the bushes are going and where they want this and where they want that. And this is the wife. And it, like I said, sweet older couple. I don't hold anything against them. I was just like, come on, like this is what we're doing today. And so we did all that. And long story short, they stayed out there the whole time. We were there for 4.5 hours. He was out there the whole time. She went in. She had some other things she had to do, but he was there with us. We hung out. We talked, and he watched a lot, and there was a lot of silence. But he was with us the whole time. Everywhere we went, he went. Every bush we planted, he watched. Every piece of mulch we brought and spread, he was watching. And I was just like, oh my goodness! Like, it's like when I got there and we were 20 minutes in, he was still out there. I was like, oh great, this is how this day is gonna go. It's gonna be one of those. And so everything went good. He was nice. He was not in our way. He was not being picky. Like, it doesn't really bother me that he was out there, seriously. But it's just like, come on, like, I was not expecting that, to have somebody sitting there watching us the whole time. But again, it's his landscape. He's paying a lot of money. Like, I guess technically you have the right to. We're on your property as well. So, have you ever had that happen? Has anybody's ever had that happen, shoot me messages, let me know, because I've never experienced that. I've never experienced somebody wanting to actually stand out there and watch the entirety of the project. Like I said, demo I understand, but the whole thing, he was out there for. So that was how that job went. It went good. We did what we needed to do. We got in, we got out, and life moved on. And so it was a good afternoon. We had to go tidy up another job from an old landscape job. We had to go get some weeds out that had come through that we did just like 2 months ago. In the beds, weeds had come through there, and so we got those taken care of, and then we just headed on to the house. And so it was a fun afternoon getting that job done. One more check off the board. There's nothing more satisfying than checking jobs off the board. Just currently sitting here looking at the board. I've got 4 solid estimates to send out, like good leads, and then, or 5 actually, and 3 jobs booked. And I'm just like, like the estimates just never end. And I'm not complaining. Don't think this is me complaining, God. I don't want the estimates to stop coming in. It's just so hard to keep up with them when you're doing it all on your own. And it's like, and so we got some big news coming up. We'll talk about probably next week about how some of this stuff is going to change a little bit. Our life is kind of molding and changing a little bit. So some fun stuff coming up next week. We'll talk about more on the air probably. But got these jobs on the list to knock out this week. I'm excited to get those done. Or next week, I mean. We're done for this week. I got to help the guys mow today. And so we'll be out on the mowers, rocking and rolling. I got to go look at a job. I had to look at a job this morning. Whenever you're listening, Friday morning, I had to go look at a job early in the day. Big hotel wanted to have their whole landscape redone and replaced. So going to check that out, partner with a buddy of mine on that, and just see what happens. But that's kind of just where we're at. This is a real life update of where the business is. We're just kind of rocking and rolling, like I said, busy every day. Got to fix a mower seat. Have you ever had y'all's air ride seats break before on the mowers? We've never had the seats break, and within a month of each other, both of our seats have broken. The bolts have broken on the mowers, and so now, like, one bolt broke, and then the pressure of the seat got changed, and then another one broke on the other side. and now a third one's broken. So our seat's hanging on by one bolt. It's about to come off, and so we got to get those taken care of today over the weekend. But life is good. We are very thankful for each and every one of you. This show could not be possible without you listening. It means the world to me that for every message we get, every like on our posts, every review we get in here, it's just like we're growing our family. We're growing our community. We love sharing it with you. Baby Jack is about to be 11 months old this coming week. That's just crazy. We're 1 month away from him being a year. He's crawling like a maniac. He's pulling up on everything. We'll probably talk about that some more when Savannah's in here on Monday. But it's just, life is crazy. Life is good. If you're not where you want to be right now, work harder, plan, invest, whatever route it is you want to take to grow your finances, take that route. But try to grow your life as well. Put things in place to help you do that, whether it be read 10 pages of a book every day, or go to the gym every day, or eat better. All of those things are very actionable steps that can be taken to grow your life. And if you want to be somewhere different in 5 years, then start the process now. If you would have told me I was going to be here in 5 years ago, I was 18. I was graduating high school, starting this business. If you would have told me in 5 years you would have, it's way too much to do. We have too many estimates to keep up with. Work on the books, which is fantastic. If you told me you had all that, plus a wife, plus a kid, plus a home, plus multiple vehicles, plus assets in the business, I would have been like, what? And then you talk about the podcast, and it's like you have a podcast that speaks to a lot of different people. You have a great audience of just family and friends and an awesome community. I would have looked at you like you were crazy. But it's all come from just never-ending work and passion and drive. And I didn't even start with this passion. I didn't start with the passion of, hey, let's talk to a bunch of people every week and grow a friendship and a family that way. That's not, we have friends. Some of our closest friends are all over the country right now. It's crazy. It's from the internet. But we just started and we just had a passion, and we had a small passion. I was like, let's just give back a little bit of what we've been given. That was my line for the first year and a half, 2 years of the podcast. And it still is I don't know much, but I know that I do know some stuff because I've been given from other people who are further along than me. And so my goal is to give back to those because I've been given to so much. And at the end of the day, I just sit here and I'm like, God, I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful. I don't even know what I would do differently right now because we're just living life. We're in the good old days. And you have to think about that with your family too right now. If you're on a mower right now, or you're changing blades, or whatever you're doing, stop and think to yourself, am I in the good old days? Do I have toys all over the house? Do I have laundry to fold? Does my wife hate me because I can't keep my boots cleaned up, or whatever it is? Do y'all fight over that stuff? Do you fight because you don't know who's going to change the next poop diaper or whatever? You are in the days that you always dreamed of. You have young kids, or you're pregnant, you want to have kids, or you're saving up money so you can have kids in 5 years. Or maybe you've already gone through all that and you're like, man, where did that time go? Soak up every minute of every day. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day. And all those hours, all those days turned into weeks, turns into months, turns into years. Like I just said, Jack's about to be 1. If you look at me and ask me the question, have you soaked up every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, leading up to this year? I would say no, I haven't. And it's why? What's more important? Is there anything more important than your family? I don't know. That's a tough question. Is it tough though? I don't think it's tough. There's nothing more important. If this business falls apart tomorrow, it falls apart tomorrow and our family stays together. And so in the midst of having 10 estimates on the board and 3 jobs to get done in the next week and a lot of lawns to get cut today, wake up, tell your family you love them, tell your kids you love them, make it home on time to go to dinner. If you don't get to go to dinner, then give them a kiss when you get home and put them to bed. Try to put your family first. That's something that I have to work on, and it's something that it's not easy when you run a business. It's not easy. Nothing comes easy though. Nothing good worth having comes easy. a good marriage doesn't come easy. A good marriage comes with a lot of work. But is a good marriage worth having? Yeah, I would say that. I'm pretty happily married, but guess what? It comes with a lot of work. It's not easy. Business isn't easy. Business ownership isn't easy. Life is not easy. Stop with that crap. Like, we always make the joke, can I do 75 hard or 75 soft? We did 75 hard. We've talked about, can I do 75 soft? If you do 75 soft, you might see some changes physically. You might see some stuff change on the road. But you're not going to see the changes that you see when you go hard for 75 days. If you go soft in your business, soft in your family, you're not going to see the changes you want. It's that simple. Like, it's literally that simple. If you want to give your kids and your wife 10% or 20% of your effort, and you give the other 80% to your business, you're not going to have the life you want, unfortunately. You're going to end up down a dark road of a distressed marriage with kids that despise the business because they don't get to see their dad or their mom, whatever the case is. And this isn't me saying there aren't times to grind it out. There are times to grind it out. There's the first 5 years of business are grind time. Like, I've been in those for the past 5 years. We're in year 5 now, and I'm like, man, it's time to start changing focus a little bit. You keep growing. You don't take your foot off the gas. But you realize we've made it to this point for what reason? Why have we worked so hard for the past 5 years? To get to the point where we don't have to work so hard for the next 5 or the next 10 or the next 20 or the next 50. And it's not that you don't work hard. It's that you work hard in different aspects, in different areas. You change up how you work. I don't know. I don't know how I got on that soapbox, but that's just real. That's just like no notes. That's just sitting here, things running through my head, real life stuff. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the story. The guy watching is what it is. Like I said, no fault. I don't hate him. If he ever listens to the show, cool. It doesn't really bother me. We're all good, man. It's just weird. I've never had it happen before, so I figured I'd share it because somebody else out there has had it happen to them, I'm sure. So, make sure you're putting your family first. Make sure you tell your kids you love them. Tell your wife you love them. There's times to grind. There's times to take a break. We've done both this year. We're doing both right now. We've taken breaks. We've grinded. We're grinding right now. We'll take another break in another couple months. But don't give up. Don't give up. Just push through. The reward will be there. But you're only going to get the reward that you deserve because you're only going to get what you put in. It's that simple. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the show today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a big 5-star rating and review if you did. Without any further ado, that is going to wrap this one up, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.